What's up, what's going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm bringing you guys the tier 3 mission guide for the White Lotus faction here in season 2. This one does consist of 7 total missions. After you complete 5 of the first 6, you will unlock that final one. Once you complete that, you will unlock tier 4 for the White Lotus faction. Now, before we dive into it, if you guys do enjoy this content anytime or find this video helpful in any way, make sure you show your support for the channel by going down below and smashing that like button. Let's go ahead and throw an easy goal of 150 likes on today's video, as well as if you guys like to find a way back to the channel for more Call of Duty content, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, also that notification bell so we don't miss you in future videos. First up, we have Hideout Preparation, and this one's going to be a 3-parter. Part 1 is asking us to place 1 water bottle in the smuggling tunnels. Now, in order to get a hold of a water bottle, you're going to want to look through houses, just buildings in general, look in those refrigerators. I think I've even come across them in first aids as well, but you are just going to want to look around the map looting until you come across one of those purified waters. They are extremely common though, so it shouldn't take you too long to get your hands on one of these. And then you're going to want to work your way through these smuggling tunnels. I definitely recommend clearing all of it. In the location where you're going to place the water bottle is going to actually be near where you can zip up and down into the smuggling tunnels. So if you can get to that location, which I will try my best to show you on the map, you will then be able to easily find where you're going to place this water bottle, place it on the ground, and part 1 will be complete. Now, part 2 is asking us to place 1 emergency rations packet in the smuggling tunnels in the same deployment. The emergency rations can be found all over the map as well. Very common, kind of like the water bottles. My best recommendation for looking for emergency rations is, again, looking in those refrigerators, looking in houses in the kitchens, or if you guys want an easier fast track to actually finding one, I definitely recommend looking for the Yum Yum burgers in Al Mazrah City, as it could be pretty quick to actually pop up in one of those. There's many fridges in there, should be fairly common, but once you guys actually get your hands on that emergency rations, you're going to again take this over to the smuggling tunnels, to the same location as you did with the water bottle, and you're going to need to place this down. Once you guys place that in that location, part 2 will be complete. Now, part 3 is asking us to place 1 bandage in the smuggling tunnels in the same deployment. Best way you can find a bandage is looking through those first aids, the medicine cabinets, or if you guys are just struggling or want to fast track it, just go to some of those hospital locations. I do have a video on the channel showing all hospital locations from season 1, and they did not move. So if you guys are looking for those, you guys can go check out that video on the channel. Once you guys get access to that 1 bandage, take it to the smuggling tunnels, put it in that same location as the first 2 parts, and part 3 will be complete. My recommendation is to actually just collect all 3, then take them all there all at once, and then obviously you guys will complete this mission. Next up, we have Fast and Strong, and this one is going to be a 2-parter. Part 1 is asking us to unlock a stronghold door. Now, in order to unlock a stronghold, you're going to need to get access to a stronghold key card, but these are extremely common all around Al Mazrah, Ashka Island. They're just everywhere. Enemies will drop them pretty consistently, and they can even still be found all over the map. I actually found the stronghold key cards to be extremely common in those buildings with the ammo resupplies. You guys should be pretty familiar with these, but go ahead, check it out. Once you get your hands on the stronghold key card, you'll then just go over to your closest stronghold, unlock and open the door, and part 1 will be complete. Part 2 is asking us to clear 3 strongholds each in under 20 seconds after unlocking the stronghold. Now, there's a pretty easy strategy for actually completing this one, because obviously once you unlock the door, you will only have 20 seconds to eliminate all the enemies, and strongholds actually come in small to large sizes, so they're not all going to be easy to actually manage in 20 seconds. But good news is the strategy is to basically just equip snapshots and drill charges. You're going to snapshot the outside of the building. It's going to obviously show you where the enemies are. You're going to drill charge all of the enemies inside, but you're going to want to leave 1 remaining. Then once you only have 1 enemy left over, you are then going to want to unlock the door, make a beeline to the location of that final enemy, eliminate them, and this will get the progress because you will have completed it in under 20 seconds. Just make sure you guys don't unlock the door until you're ready. But obviously you're going to do this at 3 different stronghold locations, which should be pretty easy using this strategy, and part 2 and this mission will be complete. Next up, we have Air Supremacy. This one is going to be a 1-parter, and it's asking us to control 3 SAM sites simultaneously. Now, this would be pretty challenging solo. I'm actually not 100% sure if you can even do it, but going to 3 SAM sites and not running into too many enemies in the time period you're given in order to actually accomplish this would be pretty challenging. So my recommendation is definitely doing it in at least a duo. That way each of you can go to your own SAM sites, clear the area of the enemies, maybe do a countdown, and then obviously start the capturing process at the exact same time. That way you guys will both finish your first capture at the same time as well, and can meet up together at that 3rd capture for your final SAM turret. But honestly, once you guys get the first 2 captured and you beeline over to that 3rd one, you just have more than enough time to capture it. And then obviously once you capture all 3 and they're all going simultaneously, this part and mission will be complete. Next up, we have Medical Mule. This one is going to be a 3-parter. Part 1 is asking us to deliver 3 revive pistols to the dumpster dead drop in Zarqwa Hydroelectric. Now, 3 revive pistols is going to be basically based on RNG, and you do not have to do this in a single match, but 100% if you guys look through the medicine cabinets, the first aid kits, or if you want to fast track or increase your odds of finding more revive pistols, I definitely recommend going to the hospital locations. And just like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do have a video on the channel of all of the hospital hospital locations on Al Mazrah. So you guys will want to go definitely check that out if you guys are looking to get those self-revive pistols a little bit quicker. But once you get your hands on 3 different revive pistols or a singular one and want to go and dead drop it, you're going to go over to Zarqwa Hydroelectric, and of course I will show you guys the location on the map. You guys are going to dead drop the revive pistols, and then part 1 will be complete. Now, part 2 is asking us to deliver 5 AFACs or large medical bags to the same dead drop. Again, best recommendation is hitting up those hospital locations. Not to say that you won't find them through first aids or medicine cabinets. However, your odds are definitely increased, at least in my experience, by going to those hospital locations, because you're likely going to find a majority of what you need in a single run. You might have to go to multiple hospitals, but more than likely you won't be looking all over the map just trying to figure out or find a single one of these. But once you get a few of these AFAC or large medical bags, you are going to want to take them over to that same dead drop as part 1, drop them in the dead drop, and part 2 will be complete. And the last part is asking us to extract 3 self-revive kits. Now you can of course get these from going through the hospitals like the other couple parts, and you can also choose to buy them at the buy stations for 7,500 each. However you choose to come across these self-revives, whether it's looting or choosing to purchase them, once you have 3 of them, stow them in your backpack, and get to your nearest exfil safely, and this part and mission will be complete. Next up, we have Unearthed, and this one's going to be a 3-parter. Part 1 is asking us to acquire a key for the crane control room in Al Safwa Quarry. Now, there's a couple of ways you can get access to this key. One is going to be looting around the map of Al Mazrah, and you probably could find it on Ashka Island as well. And just hopes that you find it just randomly looting, killing enemies, going for those HVTs and hoping that the key drops. Or the other alternative, if you own Modern Warfare 2, you can actually complete the Crown Faction Tier 2 mission known as Sample Platter, and this will give you a key to the crane control room as a reward. But once you get access to the key, either by completing that faction mission or coming across it in Al Mazrah, part 1 will be complete. And part 2 is asking us to unlock the crane control room. If you guys are unfamiliar with where this is, it is in Al Safwa Quarry. It's going to be basically on the back side, and you might get lucky enough to spawn over there, but if not, you're going to have to work your way all the way to the quarry. And of course, I will show you the location of the crane control room on the map. But once you unlock this door, part 2 will be complete. Now, part 3 is asking us to extract the quarry operations folder in the crane control room. So once you open the crane control room, you will see that quarry operations folder. You're obviously just going to want to pick that up, and then you're going to want to safely exfil out of the map. Once you get access to that folder, unless you know an exfil is safe, I definitely recommend going for a rescue hostage contract, especially if you are solo, as that will allow you to basically sneak off the map and increase your odds of exfilling safely. The worst thing that can happen to you with this mission is that you get the key, you go to the quarry, you get your access to your operations folder, then you go to exfil and you die. You will not only lose the key, you will have to go and acquire a new key, which could take you an indefinite amount of time just based on luck, and then that would obviously mean that you have to complete the mission later or not be able to do it for some time. So you guys are not going to want to die with this operation folder, so safely exfil, whether it is a regular exfil or a hostage contract, and this part and mission will be complete. Next up, we have Caved In, and this one is going to be a 3-parter. Part 1 is asking us to dock a boat at the Riverside Caves and Satik Caves. So whenever you guys are ready to go here, you're going to obviously look for a boat on the map. Now make sure you are using a boat, as I did part 1 with a jet ski, and originally it did count for progress, but after I actually completed the match and got back to the lobby, it then unchecked my progress. So I will have to go and drop a boat off there in order to get that part complete. But you guys, again, once you get access to a boat, you're going to want to drive it through the river that goes along the side of Said City. You guys will then, shortly after Said City, reach a cave on the left-hand side. You're going to want to drive into this cave and basically stop the boat at the gas station there. If you guys are refilling, you'll know you're in the right spot. Get out of the boat, and you guys will see that the first part of the progress should be complete. Now, part 2 is asking you to find and extract the smuggling records in the Riverside Caves and Satik Caves. Now, I had different experiences going in these caves, so I definitely recommend going and stocking up on some plates, especially if you're solo. Once again, definitely plan for the worst though, because it's better to be safe than sorry. But you're going to want to continue working your way through the cave, eliminate as many of the enemies as you can, and you're going to want to work your way toward the back, towards that right entrance or exit. There's going to be a little building there. You're going to climb through the window, and you guys should see the smuggling records on the floor. You guys will simply just pick up the smuggling records, and then you'll obviously need to extract those safely. Again, with anything that you are extracting with, I recommend the rescue hostage contract, as it can be a safe alternative method for extraction, or even maybe waiting for that final exfil if you guys are unable to get a hold of a rescue hostage. That way you guys can have the best chances of success on exfilling with this. But once you guys exfil safely with this, part 2 will be complete. Now part 3 is asking us to place the sensitive documents at the original location of the smuggling records in the same deployment. Realistically, before you even go for part 1 or 2, you're going to want to get your hands on the sensitive documents. Now my favorite way to go about acquiring these is to complete a destroy supplies contract, the one with the bomb on it, send you to the bomb locations. You're going to plant each of these, they'll explode, and then it will actually reveal some safe locations on the map. I go and visit a couple of these safes. Usually within 1 or 2, I actually find sensitive documents inside of them. So if you guys are looking for an easy or pretty much guaranteed way to eventually get a hold of them, you guys will want to open safes and eventually you guys will get some sensitive documents. But once you get a hold of those sensitive documents, then you'll want to go up and do parts 1 and 2. Then once you're in the location where you're going to pick up those smuggling records, you will then get that queue to place the sensitive documents in the exact same spot. So you'll place those sensitive documents there, you'll take your smuggling records, and then you'll exfil safely. And once you complete all 3 of these, this mission will be complete. Next up, we have our last and final mission, which is going to be Nowhere to Hide. It's going to be 3 parts, and part 1 is asking us to upload Legion deal intel at the Zaya Observatory radio tower in Al Mazrah. The first thing you need is to get access to the Legion deal intel. Best way to go about doing this is to get yourself a stronghold key card, and then you're going to want to make your way to your closest stronghold. You're going to want to open it up, eliminate the enemies inside, and one of them should at least drop the Legion deal intel that you need. Now, these radio towers are going to be the exact same ones you do with the intel contracts, so you should be pretty familiar with them. Usually you have to climb multiple ladders to get to the top. Of course, I will show you guys the location of where this is, but once you climb to the top of the radio tower, you will have a little location just like you are uploading for that intel contract to upload the data. You're going to obviously choose to upload, wait for the bar to complete, and then this first part will be complete. And part 2 is asking us to upload Legion deal intel at the Organiku radio tower in Ashka Island. Now, we already know how to get a hold of that Legion intel just by going to complete strongholds. However, if you did part 1 and you managed to exfil safely with the Legion intel, you can actually keep it in your mission stash, which will allow you to go into Ashka Island with it already on you. Then that way you will only have to head to the radio tower location instead of having to complete a stronghold or eliminate enemies to get the intel first. Now, of course, I will show you on the map where the location of this radio tower is. It's going to be very similar to the radio tower in part 1, only on Ashka Island. There's only 1 ladder to get to the top instead of 2. But you're going to get to the top of that, upload this intel in Organiku radio tower, which is on the top left of the map, and then part 2 will be complete. Now, part 3 is asking us to upload Legion intel at the residential radio tower in Ashka Island. Now, if you've completed Organiku radio tower and you haven't died, you will still have access to the exact same Legion intel that you had. Now, when you upload it, it just doesn't disappear. So you won't have to go get access to another one of these. You will just simply need to go to the top right of the map to the residential area, and you will go to the same radio tower type that you saw at the other side of the map. You will just climb up that 1 ladder, upload that intel, and once that progress bar is complete, this mission will be complete and you will unlock tier 4 of the White Lotus faction. Now that's going to wrap things up for today's mission guide. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support in the channel. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.